Greetings, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to another live album ranking. So it means it's Friday, the sun's out, there's a little bit of breeze, and it's damn cold. Anyway, today's live album ranking is a great little band from Britain called Tears for Fears. Now they've been around since the 1980s. Attained international chart success, and they were a part of that second British invasion. Their music's changed. They formed in Bath in 1981 by Kurt Smith and Roland Orzabal. Their music has changed over the years. They started out as a synthy pop, and they're more a mature sort of pop band these days, but they still make some great records. I've always been a fan of Tears for Fears. Now, believe it or not, they've only released 3 official live albums. They are really good. It goes through the different periods of their career, which is really good. So, coming in at number 3. Now, this was actually released in 2021, but it was recorded back in 1985 to be precise, the 30th of May 1985, and it's live at Massey Hall, Toronto in Canada. So on here, of course, you've got bass and vocals Kurt Smith, guitars and vocals Roland Orzabal, drums Manny Elias, guitar and backing vocals Andrew Saunders, keyboards and backing vocals Ian Stanley, Nicky Holland, and on saxophone we have William Gregory. Now, this live album opens up with a great song from Songs from the Big Chair, and it's the first three songs are from the Songs from the Big Chair. We open up with Mother's Talk, which is a great song. The drumming at the beginning of that is pretty cool. Then we have Broken, then goes into Head Over Heels, and then back into Broken. Go to that day, the debut album, a very good album. It was The Hurting, For a Bit of Pale Shelter. Fantastic song. Really like that. Staying with that album, we're going to lose Memories Fades. A little bit better live than in the studio, I thought. Staying with the same album, The Start of the Breakdown. Very good track. Then we get The Prisoner from the same album. Pretty good. Back to the Song from the Big Chair for I Believe. Very good version of it. Then we go to The Working Hour, and we have the title track, The Working Hour. Even better live than in the studio. Back to The Hurting for the big hit from that album, Mad World. Very good version of it. You know, they created that sound on stage, so you get in the studio. Song from the Big Chair, that even a bigger hit, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Classic song from Tears for Fears. Title track from The Hurting. Brilliant. And then this one ends with Shout from the Song from the Big Chair. Great song. I wouldn't say this is the best live recording of Tears for Fears. I think this is one that really needs, although it came out in 2021, I think they cleaned it up a bit, but it's a little bit groggy in places. I do like it, don't get me wrong. I don't think that the quality of the recording that was done in 85, they did what they could do it. But I'm going to still give this an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. So coming in at number 2, released in 2006, and it was recorded at the Parc des Princes in Paris. It's Secret World. This was recorded on the 18th of June 2005. So you've got Roland and Kurt, of course. Joining them on stage on this is Doug Petty on keyboards, Carlton Pettus on lead guitar, and Nick DiVergio on drums. So this was to promote the Everybody Loves a Happy Ending album. So the first 2 tracks come off that album. We've got Secret World itself. Pretty good version of it. Much better than the studio version, I think. Just like Call Me Mellow. I love the live version of that. Then we go to the Seeds of Love, for Sowing the Seeds of Love, which is a great track, very hippie type thing. The live version is superb on here. Pale Shelter from The Hurting, brilliant track. It still carries its same emphasis as it did back in the 80s. Then we go back to the Everybody Loves and Happy Ending for a bit of closest thing to heaven, a very, very good track. Then they do Mad World. Now it's not the normal thing, it's more in this more slowed down version, like that hit by I can't remember who, but this is better. Fantastic version of it, a little bit different. Then we have a couple of songs from the song from The Big Chair, bit of Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Crowd are enjoying that one. Head Over Heels is fantastic. And then we get a couple of some studio tracks. We get a radio edit, A Secret World. God knows why. Then we have Floated Down the River. Now this is an previously unreleased studio track. It's my favourite of these studio tracks. It reminds me a little bit of the 10cc poppy sound. Pretty good. It's an excellent track. Then they do a track called What Are We Fighting For, which was a track off Kurt Smith's Mayfield album. Isn't a bad song. Why it's on here, I don't know. Yeah, it's a really good album. I'm not very keen on the putting studio tracks on live albums, but the performance of the live tracks is a pretty decent. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. But my number one, now this only came out a few months ago, and it's Songs from a Nervous Planet. It's recorded at in Tennessee, and it was part of the Tipping Point Tour Part 2. So playing with Kurt and Roland on here, we have got backing vocals by Janine Sims and Jasmine Mullen. The bass was Kurt, of course. Drums, Jamie Wallen. Guitar, Carlton Pettis again. Keyboards, Doug Petty and Lauren Evans. So we've got some a couple of studio tracks on this as well. So the first one is Say Goodbye to Mum and Dad. Now this is a really quirky little number. I think it's quite good. I like that. The Girl That I Can Call Home. Nice singing on it, but it sounds too much like the previous track. But my favourite on here is a track called Emily Said. Now it's very 60s sounding, some great bass playing on here. It's a super little song. And the last one is Astronaut. Kurt doing the lead vocal. Got some nice backing vocals from Roland. It's a pretty solid track. So the new tracks on this are pretty good. I do like them. So let's get to the live stuff. So it opens up from the title track of The Tipping Point, which is a fantastic album, a great comeback album. And the live version of this song is even better. Then we go to the Everybody Wants to Rule, the song from Big Chair, sorry, and Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Excellent version of that. Super stuff. Sowing the Seeds of Love from the Seeds of Love. Fantastic version. Really good. Then one of my favourite tracks off The Tipping Point, the Break the Man. Fantastic song live. A really good version of Mad World from The Hurting. And we go back to the Seeds of Love for a bit of Woman in Chains. What a good track that is. One of my favourites of that. And Badman song again from that album. Pretty cool. We get Pale Shelter from The Hurting. And then we have a track from the album that Roland did without Kurt. And it's the Break It Down from Elemental, pretty good track. Head Over Heels, some Song from the Big Chair, I love that. The Brilliant Change off The Hurting, and this one ends up with Shout from Songs from the Big Chair. This is a great album. It covers a lot of their career. The recorded studio tracks are good as well. It's a good round little album, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.6. So there we go, a little bit of Tears for Fears. You know, some of these bands only have 2 or 3 live albums, but they are all good quality, especially with Tears for Fears. Even the one from Toronto, it may be the recording, but it was 1985. The song and the performance is there. Okay, coming up next is a brand new album review, and it's the new album. It's been out a little while, but it's the new album from Cats in Space, Time Machine. We'll be doing that very shortly, so bye for now.